Hey there, friends. Today we're going to cover something that is really remarkable. So many of us out there, I think we buy these apps like Wikitest, like Hydra, like all these things, and we kind of fall into an interesting situation where we feel and we realize that deep down, technology can be the only answer. Now, there are ways to kind of get off that, and the secret to that is building believability, which brings me back to what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about a really unique app known as Outdated. What's cool about Outdated is you're going to be able to do some apparent incredible memory feats and have some great integrations in here, and it's going to make things super simple for you, super easy, and the best part is it all is on autopilot for the most part. So if you're somebody interested in a really believable, incredible opener or something new to add to your set that is actually affordable and really great that lives on your device, day in, day out, doing some heavy lifting for you on the mathematics side, which is not something I'm particularly great at, stay tuned. You're going to get a kick out of this. All that being said, let's go ahead and roll that intro. Alright guys, so if you are new here and you have never tuned to the channel before, this is Mystery Arts Inc. My name is Jacob Michaels, and chances are you've seen me in a lot of places. I've been ever from all of the Penguin lives in the peak years, really. I was the kid sitting there at Peter Turner 10 years ago on his first Penguin Live and on a second one, all the way to some of the projects you might have seen me do in collaboration with companies such as Illusionist. And if you were somebody looking to really accelerate and grow as a magician mentalist, a hypnotist even, I do suggest that you do hit that bell and go ahead and subscribe. It does help the channel. It does make things great. And please comment down below as well any kind of thoughts, feelings you have on what we're talking about here. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and launch a little bit into what we're going to be talking about today. And that is going to be a web app known as Outdated by a friend of mine over at here, mysterypk.com, also Amir Mughal. So Amir has done a lot of really killer stuff in the past. I've already made a review for his past offering, which was WebFX, where it was basically an email prediction system. So what this allows you to do is send an email out, and they get to say anything or whatever, or search on Google, whatever you want, really. And in the end, you send them an email that has you, or in my case, my image is me holding a blackboard saying whatever it is. And I had some great success with this, working with Ellipse, working with a few other apps, Wikitest. There's a lot you can do with this if you're a little bit smart and you don't try and make it too over the top impossible. But that's a good lead into today, because often we're opening up with, say, like a Swami gimmick where they name a number, which, don't get me wrong, I do that. I still do it. It's lovely. It's great. My preferred Swami at this point is the one from Metal Writing that does the pin Swami. I really love that one and do highly suggest that to anybody interested to check that out. But the thing is it too unbelievable? Is this something that right off the bat someone's going to go, oh, this guy's a magician, if they, aren't the type to ascribe to the woo-woo right away, or they're not overly gullible? And let's be honest, we kind of owe it to our audiences a little bit to build up that belief structure from scratch, depending on what our goals are. If you're a magician and you're Johnny Fast Hands, no one's probably going to buy that, right? If you're somebody that is more interested in the mentalism side of things and, building a believable story and mythos behind what you do, this is going to be really important. So before we get too deep into the rabbit hole, let's first off go into what this is. I'm going to show you my back end and show you how easy this is to use and integrate, and then you can make your decision. I'll tell you some of my experience with it and everything, what I hope and dream for the future, because this is a fairly new product with other things coming out soon. Amir tends to often update his apps, much like my good friend Shamir Salim of Hydra and Iceberg fame. But let's go ahead and just dive right into this. I'm going to show you what my back end looks like here. So you can see it on my phone. This is what the Outdated back end is. You can see because it's got the green dot, it is active. So this is actually the app that got me to invest finally into, what's it called? Inject by Greg Rostami. I just never was really entranced by it. It didn't really do it for me for a long time. But this app, it makes so much sense with Inject. It was worth paying the 80, 90, whatever bucks it is to get Inject. I even got the Inject Enhanced. Is this the only effect I use inject? Currently, yes. I'm trying to incorporate other things in because inject is an incredible thing, but this has the best justification for inject I've seen, and I'll show you how I've got it set up as well with inject and enhanced inject here to make it really powerful. So first things first, there's a few different ways. So if you hit start, it's going to go ahead and go into one of the standard modes, right? So waiting for input, right? That'll start up right there. So if I were to go onto my inject screen and type in how many days since and a date, boom, you've got it. That's the essential effect, is you're going to be able to tell them how many days have passed since X. Or the other cool thing, which I know there's more coming soon for this, you're going to get a series of numbers that they add them together. They add up to this date if you want a delayed gratification kind of revelation, which I think is really cool. And I'm hoping we can integrate this in here shortly with another piece of awesome I've got here, if I can reach back, which is going to be the PETA printer or glyphs coming up as well. So if you're a printer person, I think there's a lot of potential in this to be a printer thing too. Not as a prediction, honestly, but more as a, you know, give me the amount of days, okay, give me the date, okay, I'm going to go with this, crumple it up, hand it to them, they Google search the days, you pick that piece of paper up, unfold it, show that there's 4, you know, numbers, they add them together, and they end up to the amount of days, right? So there's a lot that can be done here. If you want to do the prediction thing, I get it. I just don't think that's where this really stands out and is incredible, in my opinion, just because I think it's such a believable effect. Now, I will say, if you want to do this manually, we can type in, for example, my birth date. I do like cash, checks, and, you know, just good comments. So if you're somebody that wants to send a little something, that's how you do it. So I do 10/22/1992, and I hit submit. So air fetching data there. Oops, I did it wrong. So, yep, I see what I did. Day 22. So this is going to be a little bit different for those of you that are Americans. You can see I screwed up there where the day needs to come before the month. That's how most everywhere else in the world does it, for example. So I click that. There we go. Current, oh, what happened? It was just there. There we go. Ah, something has come up here. I'm going to have to restart this. There we go. Manual mode. 22, 10, 1992, submit. Perfect. It shows there Thursday, October 22nd, number of days, etc., etc., which is really, really cool. And we also have the random numbers. So I can basically take these random numbers, if I wanted to, copy them in here and inject those into, say, a note, which I'm sure you could create some kind of shortcut to do this for you. I've seen this before. And then, boom, you can go from there. Or the ideal goal is once we can figure out integration with printers and stuff, this would go into that as well. But it's still a pretty cool effect. If you already have integrated Hydra or, you know, one of those particular ways to get into this, then you can easily and effectively have these have the result come up as, say, a post on your Facebook, etc., etc. I think it's a little bit too perfect, but, you know, I've been wrong before, and I'm not against, it kind of fits whatever characters. I think I don't want that perfection to it. I want people to think there might be some kind of arithmetic or genius mind to it. So, I know what you're thinking, though. So what happens, you know, if we do this real time? Well, I'll show you, basically. So you can see right here, if I go to the, if I restart, I'm going to go to the black screen mode here. And what would happen is if I were to enter in, say, my Google information. So let's go ahead and click Start. It's going to get black screen mode. And what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to go into my massively prepared Google page here for inject. I'm going to search for how many days since, you know, October 22. 1992. When I click that and it takes me like that, it's going to show me how many days it's been, and then you can see on my black screen peek I have a down here exactly how many days it's been. Now this is cool, guys. This is really cool, and of course the cool thing is too, my Apple Watch and Inject has now pinged me to let me know, you know, this was the date, this is what was searched for, so you kind of have a little bit of that in there as well. But what I like to do now is this. This is one way to peek it, because you can see here on my device, I have the number. We go out of this, boom, it's down here as well. It's done its job. Now, here's the other cool thing you can do. I'm going to include this as a link down below inside of this video in the description. If you're somebody that also has something like, what's it called? Topics, which is a new app. I have a review coming for that soon here too. I've been playing with it, testing it, really loving it. Really knocked people between the eyes. This works for this too, but I have it set up so that on my Apple Watch here, if I click the top, I guess we left, it says outdated peak, it brings me up to here, and it will open up a web browser that has this on it, so I can actually see, I can start it from here and get things going, and I can catch my peak as well. So, that way, if somebody Googles something, you have this open, and you just casually look down, get the number, and then you can say, okay, give me the date. They spout it off, and you give them the amount of days that have come between that. I think it's a really simple and direct effect, and that's kind of what I like about it. So, obviously, there's a few more things going into this that I've talked to Amir about, and I know he's making some updates, which are super exciting. I have no idea how those are going to process or anything like that. But overall, this is a killer, really good opener, like I said, because if we look at believability, and there's a really cool audio program by Doc Hilford on this that has some really inspiring things about how to build a believable character. And, for those of you that are Doc Hilford fans, Doc is like the ultimate believable mind reader in a lot of ways. It's so strange. He's just a very unique character. He looks the part, he speaks the part, he lives the part. But when we're doing believability, we need to start, or we want to build believability and build credibility, you want to start with something believable, not take this card and look, it's appeared in my pocket as much. I would say more along the lines of, hey, just out of curiosity, do you know how many days it's been since your birthday? What a great hook. Or, hey, look, I'll show you something really kind of weird, and I use this to frame myself. So look, I'm going to show you something kind of weird and like borderline, savantish I've weirdly been able to do because I've always loved numbers. Do me a favor, can you pull up Google? They do. As they do that, I set up, if you have, by the way, the new enhanced inject, I love that you can hit the little spyglass, and what that will do is, here, actually, I'll just kind of pull it up here. Why not? So let me go ahead and pull up my inject, where you can tell I am massively prepared right now. Massively prepared. But it's for a good cause here. So, for example, let's say that we've taken their phone, we've pulled up the Google page here for Inject, and you want to mask the fact that you've been typing in your own unique URL. So I just click that button once, and then boom, there it is. And then I just click into there. I say, good, now here, I want you to take your phone. I give them back their phone, and they can type in here again. And while I'm doing this, I can have the watch peak open, hit start. So now it's waiting for input. I can scroll down a bit where I know it's going to appear, and I'm going to say, let's say, February 10th, 1997. Why not? Let's just it's a random date. This has no meaning to me. I click that. Obviously, it does its magic. It shows me the amount of days. I say, okay, good. Do you know how many days it's been now? Great. Do me a favor. And again, over here on my watch, not only do I got an inject notification telling me what's, going on, but now I can clearly see on my watch through the peak, which is very hard to do. I wish I could screen record a watch. It's hard to do here, but it says number of days 999.99956. It gives me my 4 random numbers. So, depending on your memory, you can memorize those 4 random numbers, jot them down real quick, and have a surprise kind of thing. Or if you wanted to, you could just say, date, okay, so I have to do this, run them through your mental process. I'm seeing this is breaking this, is what clues me into this. Think very Bob Cassidy talking about how he does the memorized deck for his closer to show, where he's imagining breaking the images, frame it that way, and you can spout off 9956. Boom, it's killer, it's great. It hooks and reels him in. He goes, okay, so wait a sec, what's this? What is this all about? Who are you? So, that being said, This is a really cool piece of tech that is a little bit different than what we've seen. I wish I could compare this to things such as, I know Rain Man Pro has some functions in it for rapid calculation, stuff like that too. I wish I could compare it. I don't own that app, and I haven't been able to find a lot of research on that app to really be able to give a good comparison or inspire me to kind of invest, even though I know everything from our friend over there at Illusionary. Everything they make, including glyphs, everything else, is fantastic. Mustafa's an absolute legend. I had some great time with him in this past year, a year or so ago when I was in London. But I don't know anything else like this that kind of does this simply and directly, and then gives me a peek on my watch like this. Again, this shortcut is down below. I'll link it here for those of you that own this or own topics. You can do the same thing pretty much, and just have it pull up a web page on your app, have it as one of your complications, and then it's an easy and effective way to do this. I'll also post just an instructional video on how to do this onto the outdated group, so that way those of you curious about this, that are investors, can utilize this. So, all that being said, this is a really cool piece of tech. I think all of you would be in your best interest to check it out if you want something believable and really great to open up your sets with. That's going to basically allow you to cement yourself as a believable and very credible source of a mystery worker in your world. That being said, again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And feel free to check it out at the link below. I look forward to seeing you all here on the next one. Cheers.